Peace and blessings in Islam to the Moorish American. I want to give a short summary on what everything Drew Ali did. Okay, the Constitution for the United States is one of the greatest documents ever written. This is why. Our authority is a statute legally retroactive to 1928 when it was incorporated. Okay, the Constitution for the United States specifies no state can pass any ex post facto laws, and no state can pass any law impairing obligation of contract. So any law passed after 1928, which includes the UCC and all that, is ex post facto as pertains to Drew Ali members of the temple. And because our authority is a contract you have to sign, they can't pass no law impairing that. That's what the Constitution says. And if you read the UCC, it explains that all obligations entered into before 1933 are still legally binding on the United States. That's a statutory obligation because the land belongs to us legally. It's registered to the temple, all the land. Now, it also says in Article 9 of the UCC that it does not govern real property. The members of Drew Ali Temple are still under the gold and silver standard. HJR 192 don't have nothing to do with us. We're not state citizens. We're not their citizens. The county recorder in Cook County, Illinois told us this. It's a private religious Illinois land trust. That's what it is. So when I go look it up, it has all our land in there and over 100 properties. Anything belonging to our trust cannot be removed from the trust because the trust is governed by Islamic law. Whatever goes in is dedicated to God. It cannot come out. And under the Torrance statute, Illinois has what's called a Torrance Indemnity Fund set up for us. They had to do it once Drew Ali incorporated the land under the statute. And they owe us from that fund. So my thing is, instead of the Moors going back and forth about what they guess and somebody told them, or what we need to be worried about is the facts that are already established. And as a national government, the Moorish Science Temple of America has eminent domain power, like any state, just like the federal government. And they already know this, just the Moors don't know this. And all Moorish America that are members of Drew Ali Temple, because the Japanese, the Turks, all of them could be members. But the way Drew Ali wrote up our tribal constitution, the divine constitution and bylaws is a tribal constitution. That's what it's called. The way he wrote that up, all Moorish Americans have what's called tribal sovereign immunity. We're not sovereign citizens. That don't got nothing to do with us. Go read the Supreme Court cases on it. You can Google it, look in the Black's Law Dictionary, whatever you want to do. It's tribal sovereign immunity. You're an officer of the temple. And the reason our authority is on Form 1099, this is what's going on, right? There was only one Form 1099 in 1928. Not a whole bunch of them like it is right now. There was only one 1099 in 1928. It's an information return. Once you sign our authority, properly recorded with the county recorder of deeds, you have to send that directly to the IRS because it changes the information about you. They're going to take your Social Security number because they already know what the statutes say. The Social Security Administration, if you're under avowed poverty, you cannot have a Social Security number. They're going to assign you a FEIN. That's what it's called, FEIN, and it's going to be the number of the trust. You have to send our authority to the IRS after it's filed with the Cook County Recorder. That's why it's on Form 1099. See, the Moorish Holy Quran, Drew Ali said Jesus binds them apart, right? That's the Moorish Holy Quran. It only binded the federal government because they got their grant from the Sultan in book form with 2 seals, just like us. So it only binded the federal government and didn't bind the states. Now, Drew Ali said Muhammad removed the head of state. How? The Moorish Science Temple of America derives power and authority from great Quran of Muhammad. Once Drew Ali incorporated, right? The Constitution for the United States of America says each state must give full faith and credit to the public acts, records, and judicial proceedings of every other state. Once Drew Ali filed our authority, he went through the Torrance system, through the judicial proceeding. That's a public act, record, and judicial proceeding. That's what removed the head of state. That's what binded all the states and everybody. Our authority binded the whole world. And what's the head of Satan? Anytime you go into a court of law with a statute, a judge automatically loses their judicial power They can only act ministerially, meaning whatever the statute says, that's what they have to do. Period. They can't argue with none of that. That's how he removed the head of Satan. And that's just a short synopsis because I was talking to some of the Moors earlier, and I thought some things need to be explained clearly, legally, so it can make legal sense. That's why Drew Ali stressed law governs all events, not imaginations, not UCC, none of that. Law governs all events. Law does not change.